Welcome to another episode of the Mad Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Begley, Goni, and Wayne.
What is up, Mad Mob? Coming at you right before a piping hot Week 11 trade deadline for a lot of fantasy leagues. Got to get them in, gentlemen. How are we holding up so far?
Healthy. We're healthy.
We're healthy. Yeah, I'm trying to make playoff pushes. I'm in 6 leagues. I think I'm playoff bound in 3 with a possible 4, but hoping to make some moves to put me over the top going into the playoffs.
Beggs, how are your leagues going, buddy?
Good in Dynasty. I'm terrible in redraft. Absolutely terrible in redraft this year. Bad year to go 0 RB.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. Dynasty Warriors were the most inconsistent, best-worst team of all time. Man, the redraft league I'm in with Begley, I feel like if you just looked at my roster, you'd think I'm amazing, but it's just they're not panning out. I could drop 160 one week and then turn around and drop 80. Lexus, I finally bit the bullet. Don't know if y'all knew it or noticed it, but
I did
started
today.
I'm shoring up the number 2 pick for next year.
Yep.
Calling it quits. Our salary cap league. I gambled big on Zamir White and Brandon Ayuk this year, and they have single-handedly just destroyed my team. I spent a good amount of money on them because I thought they were going to be good players. So it was a big investment with just the worst ROI of all time, and it's showing in my record, unfortunately. But yeah, good and bad. Honestly, not one of my best years overall, for sure. But
It happens. It's fantasy.
It's fantasy. Matthew Berry doesn't win a championship every year.
Nope.
Let's get into it. Feel free to throw out any trades that you all have been fielding or sending out. I think that's something that's kind of important this time around, especially everybody. It's kind of crunch time. People are deciding, do I mortgage some future to get a guy to win this year? Everybody pretty knows what they know what they have so far. They know their chances of winning, what they got to do, where they're weak, where they're strong. So maybe we can get Begley in on a couple of his famous hypotheticals.
I actually have a real one right now.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Dynasty League. We're a little older. We're not too old. Somebody sent me Tyreek Hill for a first. Do I take it? We're 5-5.
Deep.
5-5.
What's your receiver situation?
Right now, it's DJ Moore and Deontay Johnson is who I'm having to play.
Who are your running backs?
Pretty loaded running back. I got Kyron, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, and Eckler.
So at 5-5? Are you in the playoffs right now?
Yes, I'm in the last spot. This league does divisions, so I'm winning my division. We got Diggs, obviously on IR, and so is Christian Kirk and Brandon Cooks.
I think you do it. Personally, I think you do it. You're trying to make a push, man. You're not going to win a championship if you look and reflect on the wide receivers. Deontay Johnson's not going to deliver you a championship. DJ Moore, I actually just sent him out in a trade in a league that we're all in, Lexus League. Dying at running back this year. I've had to start Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift pretty much every week because Nick Chubb came back and took the spot from Jerome Ford, who I was starting at the beginning of the season. So I'm kind of loaded at wide receiver. Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore. I had Brandon Ayuk as well. So hurting at running back, I actually just sent DJ Moore out for Chuba Hubbard. And I did that because, like I said, I'm dying at running back. Chuba's crushing it this year, and he has a very, very favorable schedule down the stretch. So that's what I went for. DJ Moore, personally, also, he goes as Caleb Williams goes. And, we've seen peaks and valleys, and it looks like right now we're in a valley for Caleb Williams and therefore DJ Moore. So just from, where I'm from, looking at the schedule coming up, it does look kind of favorable for DJ Moore. So I feel like he'd be really good as like a number 2 if you were to go get Tyreek Hill. But I think there's better days coming for Tyreek. I know that he hasn't put up the Tyreek numbers since really week 1. But it's really mostly because like the volume hasn't been there. 5 targets 2 weeks ago, 4 targets last week. He's not that kind of guy, man. I feel like Tua is going to get reacclimated to the offense. It's gonna move along better than it has. I think there's better days for Tyreek. So personally for me, if you're really trying to win a championship, I think that's a solid move.
Well, so what's fantasy championship is what, week 16?
Yeah.
15, 16, 17, depending on how many get in.
He's got to deal with the 49ers either in the semis or championship game.
Yeah, I mean, 49ers.
But if it's a week 17 championship, he's got the Browns. So I mean,
it's a half PPR league. Does that change your opinion?
No, dude can go off for $150 and 2 touchdowns any given game.
Yeah. It's been a down year that people are kind of scared of him, but at the end of the day, he's still Tyreek Hill.
Does he have any value next year?
Yeah, as long
Probably
as 2
not.
is there, as long as 2 is under center, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be playable, but like if you're trying to flip him again next year, it's probably going to be rough. You're probably going to need like a solid first month, and then you're going to send him away. But then you're going to be in the same position of like, hey man, I'm 4-0. Do I just hold the bag on him and ride this out, or do I sell for the future? So, it really is, GM discretion more or less on this one.
And it truly is. It's okay to hold the bag as long as you're getting worth out of your player. That's kind of how I am. Me and Goni kind of have different mindsets on it, in that Goni really hates to hold the bag on literally anybody ever. I'm the type of guy where I'm okay holding the bag as long as they're still giving me value. I mean, for example, Goni wanted to get rid of Eckler last year. He was still producing for us. I wanted to keep him. Now we held the bag on him. We can't get hardly anything for him. Then we have situations where he wanted to get rid of Zeke, and after, we decided to hang on to him, we got another good year of production, and then he had a random good playoff game that helped us boost. So it's an opinion thing. There's good sides and bad sides to it. It's what you prefer. I prefer to hold the bag if they're still producing. Goni prefers to go get you something while they're still worth anything.
Okay. The hottest trade question on Reddit right now. Superflex. Guy needs a second quarterback. He has been offered Anthony Richardson for his first round pick.
No.
No,
Anthony Richardson is, if he gets in double digits, you're thrilled.
He has no second quarterback.
He has no second quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're competing, man, that's disgusting.
How did we get here? How are you playing? Tell me like someone's hurt. He didn't draft this way, right? He's got Dak Prescott,
his
right?
Second quarterback is Justin Fields.
How did we get here?
Well, his first quarterback's Mahomes, and I mean the rest of his roster is loaded.
All right. On top of what Wayne said, I mean, I've been much higher. You and I both have been much higher on AR since he came into the league. We've been on the bandwagon, been major advocates for the guy. Like, he's still technically like in his rookie season, more or less, because he hasn't played out 16 games even. With that being said, though, man, his schedule coming up is not so good. It's the Jets, which, I mean, ain't really that bad. But then it's Detroit, New England, a bye, Denver, Tennessee. Those are terrible, terrible matchups. If you make it to week 17, you play against the Giants. Week 17 would be the championship game. I'd do whatever I can to get someone else, man. If you can get Bo Nix, go get Bo Nix. If you can go get, I don't
You
know.
don't get
man.
Bo Nix for a first.
Honestly, and I'm not being facetious at all. I'd rather start Khalil Shakir in that flex spot than Anthony Richardson. Khalil Shakir has been a guy that's gone under the radar, but he's a consistent double-digit scorer, and AR isn't.
Yeah, but he's not going to go out and get a Khalil Shakir, is what I'm saying.
So right now, in
No,
his
but I'm
flex,
just saying to keep from trading anything. Maybe I feel like he could get Khalil Shakir a lot cheaper than he could get AR for some reason.
in his second flex spot, it looks like it's either Lad. It's probably Lad McConkey. He's got Brees, David Montgomery, Kenneth Walker, Jaden Reed, Devonta Smith. Elsewhere,
Jaden Reed's an every week starter.
has to be for this guy.
Gotcha.
You have a choice.
I don't know. I just don't think that the first round pick, the return on your investment, is going to be worth where you probably end up starting AR every single week from here on out, and having to do so. It's just a rough schedule. It's a rough schedule coming up.
Okay, so we've totally given up on AR long term.
For this season, I'm not trading for him this season for this playoff push, man. I still like him more than Will Levis, though, as far as that's concerned.
Oh my god!
I'm still holding on to AR, man.
Why?
They keep starting him, bro. That's why.
Cool,
He
man.
plays.
Ah, man, miserable. They don't keep starting him. They've tried to bench him twice now.
And they can't. This team.
Yeah, they can't, though. They thought Joe Flacco gave him the best chance to win, and hey, guess what? He doesn't.
Yeah, what's that say about an organization's faith in you when they keep trying to bench you?
Well, they only benched him once, so, I mean.
Oh, that's right. He benched himself one time.
He's tired.
Via injury. I mean, it happens to everyone. It happened to Will Levis.
No,
the man
he took
can't
himself
dive.
out.
He can't dive.
I've never seen a quarterback tap their helmet on the field. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're
He
going to play
shrugged
him.
off like 300 pounders and then ran 440 yards. I'd be tired too.
Cool, man. Daniel Jones did that, remember? And he tripped and fell on the 5, but he didn't go out.
No, they had to hand the ball off 3 straight times to let him catch his breath.
Fine.
AR kept it a buck, and I respect that.
Wow, that's ridiculous. That's a Cowboys fan for you. All right, tomorrow's Amazon Prime game. We got the Commanders, the Eagles, divisional showdown. 2 of the top teams in the division. What are we going to see out of it?
I think you're going to see the Eagles win, man. I think the Eagles are the better team. I think the Commanders are a little smoke and mirrors. They've had a super easy schedule. Pittsburgh kind of clamped them a little bit. It was still a hell of a game. Give me the Eagles by Tutty.
All right, line's a
I like
minus
the
3.5.
I like the Eagles as well, personally. I think they're the more talented team, and their defense is very good. Defense is very good.
Let's pivot. Is Devonta Smith startable this week? Which seems like a dumb question, but the past couple weeks, it's a question that needs to be asked.
I'm probably starting them.
I'd start him. I'd start him as well.
All right. Any other not so big guys that you start in this game? Obviously, we're starting Scary Terry, Saquon, AJ, all them. Is Brian? What's Brian Robinson's deal?
I think he's still hurt. By the way, I'm gonna call I don't know if this is really calling my shot or not, but I think AJ Brown's the top 3 wide receiver this week.
I don't see him, Brian Robinson, on the injury report.
I thought I saw where he's back. Brian Robinson's back. He's back.
Yep, I don't see him on the injury report. Bench your Ecklers.
Sure, Ecklers, if you weren't already.
Hey, we weren't.
Yeah, it's not a great place to be.
Thank God 2 tutties last week, bro. 2 tutties.
Yeah, but you ain't getting 2 tutties out of that man probably the rest of the season.
Agreed. All right, next game, our first Sunday game. Packers Bears. another big divisional game. Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, anybody, the slew of wide receivers that are here. Who are we benching? Who are we starting?
Oh Lord, man. Hey,
Bench your DJ Moores. Bench him.
can we talk about the Bears for a minute? Who do I blame for this? Is it Caleb? Is it the line? Is it the coach? Who sucks?
Okay, I hate to sound like a 50-year-old grumpy old man. I'm not a big fan of Caleb Williams' attitude. You know, something about just being like, I demand part ownership of any team that drafts me. And then the situation, you know, at the beginning where CJ Stroud's trying to like be like, hey man, you're good. And he just kind of like shrugged him off like whatever. That stuff just rubs me the wrong way and makes me like not like the dude. But I really think it's everything but Caleb Williams. I think it's his line. I think it's the coaching. I think when he has time and when he's able to run the offense that he's good with, I think he can be successful. So I think it's more the line, less him. I mean, yeah, he's making rookie mistakes every now and then, but that's to be expected. But I think I see some flashes from Caleb Williams where I think he's going to be good for a while.
I mean, no one's getting fired either way, right? It's his first year.
No.
You know, the coach ain't going to get fired over this season. They're going to have to beef up the offensive line.
Yep.
I'm doubling, tripling, quadrupling, whatever's after thating down on the fact still that I don't think that they should have traded away. They should have got rid of Justin Fields, and they should have, just traded that first pick for a boatload of everything else and made the team better. They didn't.
But
I mean, Justin Fields played pretty well for the Steelers.
I definitely see your point. I understand it. But when you're the GM of Chicago and you're staring down the barrel of a roster that needs a lot of help, and then you're like, okay, I could shore up a lot of positions here. But Justin Fields will literally never take you deep into the playoffs. So to look at a quarterback position where, if health isn't, if they're able to stay healthy, you're like, okay, I could shore up that position for 10 to 15 years. If we find that generational guy that we're looking for. I kind of understand why they did it, but I definitely see your point as well.
I feel you, but like a quarterback truly is only as good as his line. Look at Patrick Mahomes last week against Denver. The man was running for his life. Like, he didn't have any time. There were guys coming off the edge that were pretty much unblocked. He can't look down the field. He can't make throws. And we're talking about the best quarterback in the league. So you're right. I agree with you. Justin Fields ain't going to take you deep into the playoffs by any means. But I feel like he's good enough, or he would have been good enough. And it's more of like a Philly, the Sixers trust the process kind of thing of like, this is going to take a couple of years no matter what. So let's get, 3 picks out of this Caleb Williams essentially to build our team a little bit more. And then, maybe next year, the year after, we go ahead and get that quarterback. I don't know. It's tomato. It's whatever.
You really got to trust your scout team, though, because they're looking at
Facts.
Caleb Williams, seeing that he's the best quarterback that's come out of college in a long time. Whether that's true or not, but that's what they believe. It's the best quarterback that's come out of college in years. And you have to look at who's coming out of college over the next couple of years and be like, okay, if we have a 2-3 year rebuild, who is going to be that quarterback that we're going to be able to slot whenever we're finally short up at all these other positions? You have to, A, look 2-3 years out and be like, okay, this is our guy. B, just wait and hope that he pans out. C, hope he doesn't get hurt in the couple of years that he's developing in college. And D, hope you get the pick to get him. So I just think there was too many things. And I'm just being devil's advocate because I totally see your point. But I just, it's a difference of opinion. It's as simple as that.
Where's Roma Dunze in all this? I feel like that man is non-existent right now. Keenan Allen's gone after this year, right? Like, I mean, he doesn't really exist either.
The whole offense is dead, man. Cole Kmet's dead. Everybody's dead.
Cole Kmet, he was a dog too with Justin Fields. Like, he's good. He's legitimately good. We know Keenan Allen should be a PPR machine. He's not going to be a deep threat or anything like that. You know, DJ Moore could be prolific. DJ Moore had the best season of his life last year. Best season of his life. What changed? Just the quarterback. That's all.
But that's the thing, Begley. Are you? I mean, I know we haven't seen a lot out of Roma Dunze this year, like Goni was saying, but you know the talent that he is. And from a contract standpoint, you have DJ Moore locked up. You've got Roma Dunze a couple more years under a rookie contract. You're okay. Like, you're not really worried about getting any other receivers, right? Like, you're okay with DJ Moore as your one and Roma Dunze as your two while you focus on other situations, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's why it was weird they paid for Keenan Allen and DeAndre Swift. Why?
The Keenan Allen thing is a big head scratcher for me. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because you need to score points. Like, I can see the mindset from that. In the NFL today, you need to score points. Like, a strong defense ain't really just going to get it done for you. We're not going to have, like, any, I don't know, I don't remember what year it was, 06 Bears with Rex Grossman kind of deal where your defense is going to carry you. You know, some Brad Johnson-led Buccaneers. Like, that's just not teams anymore. Like, you need to score points in today's NFL. So I could see why they made the moves to bring in and have an offensive juggernaut, I guess, like, is the design. It just hasn't really panned out that way because it all comes back to the O-line.
It does. And if an old fat boy like me on the couch knows that, telling me these NFL GMs don't know that? Like, what are we doing, man?
I know.
You can only snag what's available, though. I mean, you can't just magically get, you know, a bunch of Zach Martins and Trent Williams. You know, you can't magically get them. You just got to build what you can with what you have.
But if you're going to pay
The
Keenan,
draft.
you draft a tackle instead of Roma Dunze, in my opinion.
Why, Harbaugh right now in his first season with the Chargers, they're looking excellent. They got Rashawn Slater on the left, and they went and drafted Joe Alt to take the right side. They're looking great. Everyone questioned because they dumped every weapon they had. They had a bunch
J.K.
of
Dobbins
nobodies.
has been healthy. Imagine that.
J.K. Dobbins, healthy, having a great year, having probably the best year of his career solely because he's played the most games of his career. And O-line, man, their defense is finally good. The Chargers habitually, since I was a kid, man, they have done less with more times than any team in the league. And, like, I feel like now they're coming together, man. The defense looks good. People aren't getting hurt. Derwin James isn't getting suspended or anything like that and getting hurt as well. Like, it's beautiful.
He's been suspended this year. He's been kicked out of a couple games. He ain't completely changing his stripes. All right, back to the original question. So you're benching DJ Moore. You're not feeling that Jair Alexander treatment. I agree. Who are you taking out of all the freaking Packers receivers?
I'm only taking Reed and Jacobs out of this whole game, I think. Maybe
Tucker Kraft. Kraft as well. But yeah, Jaden Reed is the only one who will have my trust on a weekly basis. And even that's shaky because he's very feast or famine.
The Bears defense is elite.
That's pretty good. All right, we got next game we got is the biggest spread of the week. We got Jaguars Lions. It's in Detroit. Detroit minus 13.5, which is my least favorite line of all time.
Talk me out of it though, Wayne. Mac Jones looked terrible, bro. Tell me why I shouldn't.
I don't know. Talk me out of taking the over on 46.5. I feel like the Lions are going to score 11 points.
They might get it by themselves. The Jaguars might give you 7, bro.
Is this a monster Jahmyr Gibbs game?
Dude, I think it's a monster everybody game. I think it's one of those games where you see 5 different players score a tutty for the Lions.
Oh, so you're smashing the over on this?
That's what Wayne and I were just talking about.
It feels gross, but I just feel like the Lions themselves could hit the over.
They're going to have to because they're not going to get any help.
And I don't know if you guys saw it. You might have already mentioned this as well. Trevor Lawrence out again. Mac
Yeah.
Jones starting.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you guys watch any of last week's game by any chance against the Vikings?
He's awful.
He is terrible. I just thought, as a Patriots fan, as the resident Patriots fan, I always try to be optimistic about all players in the NFL. And I figured it was just because we didn't give him any help. And we set him up for failure. That man sucks. That man sucks. He lost to a Vikings team who did not score a touchdown. They kicked 4 field goals. They threw 3 interceptions, 2 of them in the red zone. Like, what?
I don't know. That's kind of where it's scary to take any sort of double-digit spread in NFL betting, but sheesh. Are they gonna score? I mean,
let me give you guys an over/under. Over/under 6.5 Jaguar points.
Man, under, because I think, as ridiculous as it sounds, I think that the Lions are going to go up big. The Lions are going to stop them, and then the Lions are just going to run the ball out. That's why I think it's going to be a big Jahmyr Gibbs game. I think he's just going to. I think it's very possible he gets 20 carries this game and just explodes.
Fire up your Aloacons if you're in an IDP league.
Aloacon. I think I did, dude. I think I actually did. I have him in an IDP in our Tycoon League.
Stud. Absolute stud.
I think the Lions cover for what it's worth. Do you play Brian Thomas?
No.
We have to.
I think if you have a choice, you don't. He didn't do anything last week.
I agree.
Brian Thomas or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore, because I think DJ Moore, he obviously has the tougher matchup, but I like to think that the quarterback is at least more competent to get him the ball.
I mean,
I'm gonna go. I think Brian Thomas.
Doink, doink.
I really don't want to. It feels terrible.
Doink.
Nah. I ain't doing that.
Wow, dude. I wish I had a soundboard where I could call him a coward.
Battle of the Turds.
All right, we'll move on here. Vikings Titans. Vikings. Sam Darnold looked very Sam Darnold-ish last week.
Yeah, to me, there's 2 guys. It's Jordan Addison and Calvin Ridley. You got to play Ridley, right? In your flex, in your flex.
Yes, you do, my friend.
In your flex, are you taking Addison or Travis Etienne?
I have no love for Etienne anymore, man. He's been awful.
He's not good.
In my research, because I pride myself on being very good in rookie drafts. So I've already started my research, and I've been looking over, and Trevor Etienne keeps popping up, and I just give him up that hot tool on him, I just hate his guts because of his last name.
I don't think you know what Haktua means, but I'm all.
No, that wasn't like the Haktua girl. That was just me spitting. I wasn't giving him that Haktua.
It was eerily close. I was gonna give him that Haktua.
I mean, if I draft him and he does good, Daddy rewards his good players.
Man.
Hey, man, listen, low key, Ridley and Pollard, solid fantasy options every week, right? Solid.
I think Ridley has a good week. The Vikings have like the second worst pass defense. We could actually see a decent Will Levis game, but
we saw a decent Will Levis game last week. He did pretty good last week.
All right, but with that being said, I still think this hits the under for sure.
I think he had like a 120 QBR. He was pretty good last week. How did AR do last week? Oh, he was benched. Okay.
He didn't play.
Next game. Raiders Dolphins. Gardner Minshew, I believe, is still holding off Desmond Ritter. Regardless, I'm not touching that offense. Well, Brock Bowers, per the norm, but outside of that,
you're not firing up your boy Zamir.
No, dude. I went into a big monologue about how he was a giant waste of money for me. I hate him. I hate his guts. I hate myself for giving him a 2-year. Because now I got to stare at his stupid face again on my roster next year and take a big old dead money hit.
Is
All right.
is Jalen Waddle any good again, or does he just suck now?
There's no telling, dude. There's a search party out for him for weeks.
You know what? It took so much convincing to let us trade him away. So much convincing, but Goni.
It didn't. It didn't.
Goni.
I was advocating for what he could be, but I didn't put up any kind of fight
You
for
put
two
up
firsts.
you put up a fight until me and Brandon, me and Jill's started attacking you on a unified front.
No, I ain't gonna give in to the peer pressure, man. I didn't have a problem with it.
Man. Okay.
Two
Agreed.
firsts.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, I disagree, but I won't agree
Yeah,
with you.
but I'm agreeing, and we're gonna do that to disagree.
Nah, we're not agreeing on anything.
Starting Achane, starting Tyreek. That's about it, right? No Raheem Mostert action, right?
I don't hate.
I don't love Jacoby Myers.
I don't hate it. I think he's good. I think he's a legit flex play.
Jacoby Myers or
Well-
Brian Thomas?
I'll take Jacoby. I'll take a doink on it.
Oh, I just tried to take the other side of Brian Thomas. I tried to go against Brian Thomas.
I'm not taking Mac Jones. Sorry, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, I was. Who was I trying to take against Brian Thomas 30 seconds ago? B-Brain?
It was some turd. Addison.
No, it wasn't
Somebody.
Addison.
ETN or some turd.
It was some turd. We can agree on that. Next game, Rams Pats in Foxborough.
Hey,
Rams was a really tough word for me there. I don't know if y'all noticed.
Fucks, bro.
Drake May is a stud muffin. The dude can play, dude. He can absolutely play.
That being
He's
said, Rams -5 is what they got.
I'm gonna take the Rams, but that dude can play.
Yeah, he's definitely encouraging to watch, and I'm enjoying watching Jalen Polk come along for the ride as well. I think he can be pretty good one day as well.
Are you starting your Robinsons this week?
Ooh.
I'm kind of thinking Cooper Kupp might get that Gonzalez treatment. You know what I mean?
Cooper Kupp plays the slot mostly. I don't think he'll be lined up with him a
Are
whole
we
lot. I think
firing up our Robinsons or not? I personally vote no, but it needs to be asked.
No, I'm gonna put a doink on the table, and it's ballsy. I think Nakua and Cup are both in the top 15 this week. I want to take that.
done. I'm in there.
Boom.
It's annoying.
Boom.
You taking it? You in there, Wayne, or no?
He won't double up.
You're right. I won't. Bad
Oh.
business. I also like Kayshawn Booty for the Patriots as a stash. He looks pretty good. The dude's a knucklehead, but he looks good.
As long as he's a knucklehead that doesn't do stupid enough stuff to not be on the field.
Yeah, I'm pulling up his stats right now, but I want to say he's been in double-digit fantasy points for 2 weeks. That's what I want to say.
I bet you do.
I mean, that's what I want to say. Huh? Let's see here. He's only been in there one time all year. I'm dead wrong, but he's got 6 targets each of the last 3 games.
Well, that's encouraging. He'll probably get 6 more this week. We're going to need to be able to keep up with the Rams. So, I don't know. We'll see. Kyron's going to Kyron. Do you fire up Ramondre Stevenson?
Yeah.
I do as well.
Yep. I feel like you always got to fire him up, even though it's not a great offense. Feels kind of gross. I feel like he's a sit and start for me. Sit and start. That was a weird way to word that. And nobody called me out.
So let's just do it.
Yeah.
Next game, we got Browns Saints. This is going to be a real humdinger. Browns Saints. Over under is at 44.5, and I'd probably take the under at 34.5.
Give me the over.
Really?
Yep.
Just because both
Maybe
defenses are bad?
Yeah, dude, and Jameis is slinging the rock, bro.
Yeah, I
Give me
did forget
Cedric.
about famous Jameis.
Give me Cedric Tillman for 1,000 fantasy points this week. And I think Jameis has a great week, man. I'm really hoping, whoever owns it, Jimmy Haslam, please just trade away Nick Chubb for me, for my fantasy team, so Jerome Ford can start for the rest of the year. Send Nick Chubb off to someone who needs a running back to have a playoff run. Try and get that man a ring. Get you something back.
Nah.
All right. Well said. Thanks, Jimmy Haslam.
Nah, keep him. Keep him in there.
No, but sellers.
If we had to pick a winner of this third sandwich, who are we picking? Who wins?
Browns.
Jameis Trubisky?
I'm taking Saints.
Doink.
Yeah.
Who's the favorite on this?
Saints by one.
Saints -1, but it's in New Orleans, so feels neutral. It'd be Browns +2. Who's going to be catching the ball for them? With Olave and Shaheed on IR, who's catching the ball for them?
Marquez Valdez-Scantling back from the dead again.
Oh god, man, that dude is just finding himself into the best situations to remain relevant. It makes me sick.
Can't stand that guy, dude. Who has been picked up and dropped in fantasy more than Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
Brandon Cooks.
That's the realest. Brandon Cooks at least like stays on a roster for a while. It's like, oh, MVS is on a new team. Oh, let me pick him up. He might be relevant because his first game was excellent, and then he proceeds to put up dud game after dud game. You're like, all right, I'm gonna drop him, and then he puts up a stud game, and then you're like, oh, let me pick him back up. He's a great waiver pickup this week, and then he goes somewhere else the next year.
Seems like every time I see his name pop up, I'm like, dang, when did he get traded there? Dang, when did he get picked up by that team?
I hate that guy, dude.
All right, next game we got Colts Jets. Garrett Wilson. I'm still firing up Devontae Adams. Gots to do it.
Yeah, every week.
Devontae, Garrett, Brees, obviously. Are we comfortable enough to start Conklin?
It's basically a touchdown to stay relevant for him.
Nope.
So yeah, probably not.
Okay, we're starting JT. Alec Pierce just had a good game. Or any receivers we like with AR under center?
I'm starting Josh Downs this week. I got faith.
Nah.
Josh Downs is the only one that I would start for what it's worth, but I don't love it.
Nah, I can't. I'm not starting anybody.
Give me a range, of where he finishes. We might have a doink.
For Josh Downs?
Yeah.
I think his ceiling is probably back end wide receiver 2 this week, and I think his floor is like wide receiver 40 something. I don't know. he can go off for like 2 for 17 and no touchdowns possibly. I'm not sure.
I'll take 24. No, I'll give you 24. I'll take 25 or worse. He'll finish 25 or worse.
Oh God, no. Not for me.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So you're 100% in agreement that he won't even be a wide receiver 2 this week.
I think he's a flex play. I would take him 36 or better.
Okay, so a very back end flex.
3 or better. Yeah.
Okay.
What about that?
Fair.
Any takers?
No, I want no part of that.
That he's going to be that he's going to be the worst flex play of the week? No.
Okay.
I think you might hit there. Okay. Next, we got Ravens Steelers. It's in Pittsburgh, divisional game. Starting up Derrick Henry, of course. I guess whoever you want to start in the Steelers' backfield, if anybody. I personally don't like.
Such a disappointment, man.
I don't even know that I start Najee if I don't have to this week.
I don't want to.
No, you're talking about probably two defenses in the top 5 for rushing. Like I don't think Derrick Henry has a good game, if we're being honest.
Ooh. I think Derrick Henry's always going to Derrick Henry though. That man's going to plow forward. He's going to get his ops.
He'll be an RB1 this week, though.
Man, I'm thinking about it. Thinking hard about it, bro.
I think he is.
Book it, Dano.
I'm not even looking at the list of the rest of the guys and what their matchups are. It's just I hate it. Can I say instead of that, since I can quantify better in my mind here, under 17 fantasy points? It's 100 and a tutty.
17.
Yeah, he's been averaging over that anyways recently.
100 and a tutty, dude. That's a great game.
A little
That was
high
a great
for my
game. You
take.
said Derrick Henry's going to Derrick Henry. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think 15 points is a good line.
Will you do 15?
If he doesn't, I'll do 15.
Wayne, I'll let you have it. I'm on your side, though.
I'll do 15.
All right.
Starting up Zay Flowers. Yeah, I feel like we got to start up our Zays, even though he feels yucky.
Got to. I love George Pickens this week. I think he's a wide receiver 1.
Yep, I'll take George Pickens.
I think Mike Williams is worth a flex play as well.
Oof.
He came in clutch last week with a bomb touchdown. They only had a small package of plays for him last week being acquired. He's a deep threat. The Ravens are the worst there ever was in the passing game. I just heard a stat today as well that they are the worst in the league at giving up points in the fourth quarter. They've given up like 12 touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone. They're just atrocious through the air. Everyone can throw on them. I like that when I'm looking at options for flexes. Is Mike Williams the most appealing guy in the world ever? No, but he's very boom or bust. He could win you a week. He could also put up 3.
What if I took Josh Downs and you took Mike Williams?
Oh, snap call.
Yes.
Snap call.
Yes. Boom. Book it. There's a whole host of guys that I would take before Mike Williams this week.
That's
Host.
You just doomed yourself. This is going to be the Mike Williams explosion week. He's going to put up $150 and 3, boy.
He hadn't done that in 5 years, man.
You're right, but he's done it.
He's
Has
worst.
Josh Downs ever done that?
Yeah, he has. He's worst.
Brian Thomas or Mike Williams?
Brian Thomas.
Ugh. Jacoby Myers or Mike Williams?
Jacoby. Mike Williams, he's not on my big board, man. He's not there.
What was this doink that we just had? Sorry, I was putting in the last one.
I'll take Josh Downs. You take Mike Williams.
Okay.
If you could put on the ledger that you snap called it to, just so I can push it in your face a little extra harder.
Sure, absolutely. I'll put an asterisk right there and done deal. I look forward to our next episode when I'm victory lapping on your FIA.
Well, our next episode is going to cover the rest of the games because we're out of time, ladies and gentlemen. It's been real. Maybe we can get Begley on to cover the rest of the games. Maybe we'll see you week 14. I don't know. I'd love to give you. I'd love to just be on a set schedule. I'd love for you all to just know we're going to be there at our typical time. But we all live on Begley's time. Who says he only gets sick once a year, but that man gets sick 8 times a year, and each time he's sick, how long does the sickness last, Coney?
It was 2 weeks. I'm better. And I'll see you boys same time tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Scheduled.
Hopefully, Mad Mob, we're out of here.